Once upon a time, there lived a woman called Ajara and her husband Ibrahim. They had a daughter called Faiza. It was years after the birth of Faiza and the couple wanted more children, but it wasn't coming. Until after 6 years, Ajara got pregnant with Saidia. Her birth was celebrated in a very big way. After the birth of Saidia, Ajara completely forgot about her first daughter. She gave all her time to Saidia. Ibrahim noticed how Faiza was neglected and how she was always moody. He spoke to his wife, but then she said that Faiza was old enough to care for herself and that she shouldn't feel jealous over her little sister. Faiza would literally do everything in the house and would not rest because her mother would always say that Saidia needed to be watched at all times as she was a baby. Faiza understood, though she was a young girl, but she had the intelligence of an adult. She did everything she was told just so she could make her mother happy and give her some attention or even a compliment, but she got none. At some point, Faiza began to grow jealous of her little sister and was breeding hate in her heart. Before she was born, I was taken care of, but now mother no longer sees me as her child. She sees me as her maid, and I harbor hate for my sister, a sister I have longed to have. Mother would not even let me go close to her because she thinks I would hurt her. She said as tears slowly fell from her eyes. Unknown to Faiza, her father had heard all she had said, and he couldn't blame her for it. She was a child that needed care and attention too, just like Sadia, her little sister. He walked into the room and Faiza turned with a shocked look on her face. Father, I didn't mean all that, Faiza said, bowing her head.
It's okay, my child. I really understand how you feel. I have spoken with your mother about this, but I see no change. I need you to love your sister. She's just a child that knows nothing. To make you feel better, I will be taking you out on weekends when I'm not so busy.
Ibrahim said, really, father, I would really like that. Thank you so much, she said, as a big smile spread on her face. That night, Faiza slept so peacefully because she felt a weight she carried around was lifted from her. Faiza spent weekdays doing things around the house while anticipating her weekends with her father. They always had the best time together. They would visit special restaurants, go shopping, and see some unique places. This continued, and Faiza was no longer bothered by her mother's negligence. She had her father to care for her. Faiza soon grew into a very beautiful and lovely young woman. She sparkled like a star in the middle of the night whenever she walked. Her sister, on the other hand, was young and mean. She never wanted to do anything or learn. Faiza had tried to have a good relationship with Sadia, but she never took it well. Sadia felt that Faiza was coming closer to her so she could steal her spot as the favorite child of their mother. Ibrahim would often buy the girls new things, but when Sadia saw that of Faiza, she would complain to her mother that she wanted it. Faiza, as an older sister, saw no problem in sharing her things with her kid sister, but then it became frequent. Faiza was no longer having it. Whenever Sadia wanted something that was hers, she would refuse, and her mother would call her all sorts of unprintable names, saying that she had been jealous of Sadia from birth, and sometimes she would forcefully take Faiza's things and give them to Sadia. Faiza would wonder why her mother had been wicked and selfish towards her, but loving towards her sister. But then she got used to it. When Faiza turned 25, she had a suitor that showed great interest in marrying her. His name was Suleiman. Suleiman was a businessman and he was doing very well for himself. He met Faiza when he visited Ibrahim's office. He was first attracted to her unique beauty, and when he spoke with her, he was wowed by how intelligent she was. And when he found out she was Ibrahim's daughter, he was really delighted. He quickly spoke to Ibrahim, who told him to talk to his daughter first, that if she agreed, then he would give them his approval. Suleiman wooed Faiza and she agreed to be with him. Suleiman and Faiza were what we called the ideal couple. Over time, they grew to love each other so much that everyone wished for a relationship like theirs. Faiza was ready to marry Suleiman. She couldn't bear to live with her wicked mother and mean sister anymore. But Suleiman told her to wait so he could finish his new house because he wanted them to live there after they got married. And Faiza agreed. Within this time, Faiza noticed something odd in her sister. She would always act nice whenever Suleiman was around. She would always cook something for him and would sit beside him while he ate. This made her feel uneasy. She spoke to her father about it, but he didn't find anything odd. Rather, he said that maybe Saidia was being nice to Suleiman. Faiza knew Saidia well enough to know that she was not just being nice. She wanted Suleiman for herself, and it was very obvious from her actions. But she would not let it happen. She spoke with Suleiman to create some boundaries with Saidia, but Suleiman said exactly what her father had said, that Saidia was just being nice. Don't feel jealous, Soyeyana. I think she's just being nice, but I will make boundaries if it will make you feel better, Suleiman said. Faiza was calm, but she could not shake the bad feeling she had deep down. One evening, Suleiman came to visit, and when he was ready to go, it began to rain heavily. Ibrahim saw that it would be dangerous for Suleiman to go under the rain, so he told Faiza to prepare the guest room for Suleiman to stay over. Ajara knew of Sadia's likeness for Suleiman and was in full support of it. According to her, Suleiman and Sadia would make a better match than her sister, since Sadia was on the light side while Suleiman was on the dark side. Their children would be a mixture of both complexions, she said. But they did not have a better approach on the situation. Ajara had suggested love charms or potions, but Sadia declined that it would look so obvious and the charm might backfire when Suleiman or her father finds out. That night, while Suleiman was sleeping in the guest room, Sadia took a bath using her sister's soap. Then she took Faiza's perfumes and applied it all over her body so she would smell like Faiza. Then she walked into the room that Sule was sleeping in. The light in the room was dim and Sule was already asleep. Sadia went in and laid beside Suleiman, and soon she was touching him. Sule slowly opened his eyes and said,
"What are you doing, Faiza? I thought we have decided to wait until our wedding night."
Sule said, while trying to adjust his eyes to the dim room. He called her Faiza because she smelled like her. I really want you, Sule. I can't wait any longer, Sadia said. Why does your voice sound different? Suleiman said, and Sadia knew that he was awake. So she decided to act fast before it was too late. She fell on Suleiman and put her lips on his. Then he reacted to her, and that was the biggest mistake he ever made. Saidia left the room before dawn, not to look suspicious or alert Suleiman of what they had done. When Suleiman woke up, he was expecting to see Faiza beside him, but she was not there. He had one of the best nights in a long while. He took a bath and went out of the room. He saw Faiza and pecked her on the forehead and asked if she was okay, and she replied to him that she was fine. And then she said, "Why are you all smiles this morning? Did something happen that I don't know of?" Faiza said, "I really enjoyed last night's activity. How do you feel this morning?" Suleiman asked. "Activity? What are you talking about, Sule?" But then Suleiman caught Sadia smiling seductively at him. Then he connected the dots together. He had slept with Sadia, not Faiza. "Forget about what I said, Habibi. I will be on my way," Sule said. Faiza wanted him to stay and have breakfast, but he refused and left hurriedly. Since that day, Suleiman never came to the house, and when Faiza asked him why, he would always say that he was busy, and Faiza believed him. One sunny day, Sule was visited by Sadia, and she told him that she was pregnant. Sule was beyond shocked. "Sadia, why did you do this to me? I was supposed to marry your sister," Sule said. "I have always liked you since I saw you, but you only have eyes for Faiza, so I had to look for a way to keep you for myself. I really love you, Sule, and we will make the perfect couple if you give us a chance," Saidia said. "Saidia, please, I can't lose Faiza. I really love her, not you," Sule replied. "You cannot love her when I am pregnant with your child. It's me you should love, not Faiza." Sule was devastated. He didn't know what to do, and soon Sadia's pregnancy would begin to show. He had to do something before it was too late. He called Faiza over and explained everything to her. Tears fell from her eyes. "What have I ever done to you, Sadia, to hate me so much? You wanted everything I have, even my husband to be," Faiza lamented. Soon, Ibrahim knew what was going on, and he was not pleased about it. He told Sule that he would have to marry Saidia since she was the one pregnant with his child, and he could no longer marry Faiza, that he wouldn't allow his daughters to get married to one man. Saidia and her mother were so happy. Finally, Sule was hers. Although Suleiman didn't want this, but Ibrahim wasn't having it. He told him that he would not allow his daughter to give birth outside of marriage. With sorrowful heart, he married Saidia, and she went to live with him. Ibrahim, knowing that Sadia's plans were supported by his wife Ajara, refused to talk to her or eat her food or even sleep on the same bed as her. He knew how Faiza loved Suleiman. What he could not understand was how a mother would hate one of her children this much. It's been months and Ibrahim was still not speaking with his wife Ajara. In Ajara's mind, her husband was planning to send her packing. So she went to a malam with her husband's shoe. The priest casted a spell that will make him paralyzed. She kept the shoe back where she had taken it from and then waited for her plan to unfold. While she waited, she searched for the documents pertaining to the house, cars, and other valuables. She put them in her already packed box, including some money to sustain herself until she sells the properties. Ibrahim did not wear the shoe until a week after. When Ajara saw him wearing the shoe to work, she knew it wouldn't be long before the spell took over his body. That same day, she left the house. Not long after Ibrahim went to work, he started having itches all over his body. No matter how he scratched, it never stopped, and within minutes he felt numb all over his body and fell with a thud on the ground. People outside his office heard the sound, and one of them came in to check and saw him on the ground. He quickly sent for Faiza, and Ibrahim was rushed to the hospital to receive treatment. Faiza went home to inform her mother of what had happened but met her absence. Something felt strange, but she could not put her finger on it. So she packed some clothes and toiletries and returned to the hospital to stay with her father. They had been in the hospital for over a week, but her mother was nowhere to be found. Neither did her sister come over. Suleiman was the only person that came constantly to check on her father and Faiza. He still felt there was a chance between him and Faiza, and as such, he never had any intimacy with Sadia after the first time. Because he didn't trust her, he would not eat her food, and he would always lock his door while he was home or not. Ibrahim was not getting better, even though he was receiving the best treatment. He couldn't talk or move his body. Ajara heard that Ibrahim was really sick, and she thought that now was the best time to carry out her plans. She took the documents and went to the house. She got an agent who would help her sell the house and cars. She gave him documents, and there he confirmed that they were fake. Ajara was furious. So this stupid man made fake documents. But where did he keep the real document? She thought. Sadia soon fell into labor, and she was rushed to the hospital. She gave birth to a stillborn who died after a few hours. She cried. She had nothing to hold Suleiman with anymore. She was hoping he wouldn't leave her when she gave birth to the child, but now Nemesis had caught up with her. She was on her way back to her father's house when men stopped her and were asking her for documents. She was confused. She told them that she didn't have any documents. Then the men were getting impatient, so they shot her on both legs and left. Apparently, Ajara had sent these men to question the young woman they would see enter the house, and if she refused to comply, they should shoot her on the leg as a warning. Sadia was taken to the hospital by people who had seen what transpired. When Ajara heard of the news that it was Sadia the men had shot, she hurried to the hospital. When she got there, Sadia was unconscious due to blood loss. "What were you doing there, Sadia?" "I sent those men to Faiza. I was going to sell the house and make us live a good life, but your stupid father switched the documents to fake ones. I wished I had done the spell to make him die instead." Suddenly, there was a crash on the floor. She turned back to see Suleiman there, blood drained from her face. She didn't know she had an audience, and immediately Suleiman called for her to be arrested. She was questioned. She confessed to everything, and since she said how she had inflicted her husband with paralysis, they knew they had to find a spiritual healer. They got one, and he told them to bath him with the rainwater, direct from the rain. Faiza did as he had told them, and within days, Ibrahim was back on his feet. Suleiman paid Sadia's hospital bills, and when she was well enough, he broke ties with her. Sadia regretted her actions towards her sister, who had never wronged her in any way. She had no one to turn to. She had lost the ability to walk too. She returned to her father's house, but everyone ignored her because she brought all this upon herself. Faiza and Suleiman worked on their relationship, and they got married a few months later. Ajara served jail term for her wrongdoing. The moral of the story: as parents, we should love our children equally. Although we understand that every child is different and newborn children require more attention than others. But aside from that, we should not allow our children feel like outsiders in their home. Favoritism is bad, therefore causing unnecessary hatred and rivalry between siblings. And as parents, this story should be a constant reminder that we should never support a child in their wrongdoing. This will encourage them to cultivate more dubious plans that will hurt people around them. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the story. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share our videos. See you in the next one. Bye.